Have you ever wondered why you're feeling weak, shaky, or unsteady, even though you eat healthy, take supplements, and make the effort to exercise? The answer might surprise you. It could be sarcopenia. And it's far more common in seniors over the age of 60 than most people realize. Sarcopenia is not just normal aging. It's a progressive condition where your muscles shrink and weaken as your body loses muscle mass faster than it can rebuild. Imagine your muscles slowly wasting away, bit by bit, even though you can't always see it happening. This is why tasks you once did with ease, like rising from a chair, carrying a bag of groceries, or simply maintaining balance while walking, suddenly feel so much harder. Research now shows that older adults can lose up to 40% of their muscle mass each year. Let that sink in. Nearly half of your strength, gone in just 12 months if you don't take steps to fight back. That's exactly why, in this video, I will share with you 5 powerful foods that you should start adding to your breakfast tomorrow and every morning if you don't want to lose another ounce of muscle. And I'll tell you this, the 5th food is so potent that traditional Chinese doctors recommend it to their older patients as a daily must-have. By the end of this video, I promise you will know exactly what to do to reclaim your strength, vitality, and even feel like you're 40 again. And this isn't just an empty promise. As a doctor who has treated thousands of elderly patients struggling with sarcopenia and muscle loss, I've seen firsthand the transformations that come from small dietary shifts. More than 85% of my patients who adopted the foods I'm about to reveal showed remarkable results. But before we dive in, let me ask you something. Where are you watching from, and how old are you? What kind of muscle loss problems have you been facing? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read them all, and I reply personally. Welcome to the Health Guide 365. Now, let's begin. What happens to your muscles when you sleep? Have you ever wondered what's really happening inside your muscles while you sleep? It's not just rest. It's a 2-step cycle of breakdown and repair. During the day, as you use your muscles, microscopic tears form in the fibers. While that might sound alarming, these tiny tears are the very thing that trigger growth. Then comes the magic. At night, your body recognizes the damage and sends in specialized repair cells. These cells patch the fibers and make them stronger, thicker, and more resilient than before. It's your body adapting, preparing for the demands of tomorrow. But here's the part most people overlook. This repair process doesn't happen automatically. It needs the right fuel. And most of that fuel comes in the morning, after breakfast. Skip the right foods at breakfast, and you're essentially robbing your muscles of the chance to rebuild. Sadly, most seniors unknowingly make this exact mistake. That's why, before I reveal the 5 foods you should be eating, I must first show you the 5 foods you should never eat in the morning, because these foods don't just fail to help. They actively damage your muscles. 5 foods that destroy muscle health. White bread. Let's start with one of the most common breakfast items, white bread. Here's what happens. The moment white bread hits your stomach, it rapidly breaks down into pure sugar, flooding your bloodstream. Your body panics and releases insulin in large amounts to manage the spike. And here's the problem. Insulin at these high levels acts like a lock on your muscles. It blocks them from absorbing the protein they need for repair. But it gets worse. Once your blood sugar crashes after that initial spike, your body scrambles to produce energy. And where does it get that energy? By breaking down your own muscle tissue. In other words, every slice of white bread is eating away at your strength. One long-term study of 2,000 seniors over 3 years revealed that those who ate white bread daily lost 23% more muscle than those who avoided it. Take Margaret, one of my patients. At 62, she was struggling with every classic symptom of sarcopenia, needing arm support to rise from a chair, difficulty carrying groceries, and feeling exhausted after a full night's rest. She had even fallen twice within 6 months. Her breakfast: 2 slices of white toast with butter, every single morning. She thought she was making a simple, practical choice, but it was actually accelerating her decline. I helped Margaret redesign her breakfast with the muscle building foods you'll hear about soon. Within 2 weeks, she began regaining strength. She could climb stairs without the railing, her energy skyrocketed, and she told me she felt like she had her 40-year-old body back. And it all started by removing white bread, coffee on an empty stomach now. Let's talk about a habit millions can't imagine living without: coffee. Ever wondered what happens when you drink coffee first thing in the morning, before eating anything? That caffeine on an empty stomach signals your adrenal glands to release a flood of cortisol, the stress hormone. And cortisol, my friends, is muscle's worst enemy. When cortisol spikes without food in your system, your body thinks it's under stress and immediately begins breaking down muscle to convert into glucose. But here's the kicker. Coffee on an empty stomach doesn't just break muscle down. It also prevents new muscle growth for up to 6 hours by blocking IGF-1, the hormone responsible for repair. A study of 600 seniors who drank coffee on an empty stomach every day for 14 months found they lost 22% more muscle mass than those who ate before drinking coffee. Researchers discovered this led to a condition they called chronic muscle catabolism, where the body is stuck in breakdown mode all day. I recall one of my toughest cases, James, a 62-year-old security guard, working 2 jobs. He survived on 68 cups of coffee daily, always on an empty stomach. His strength plummeted. He couldn't lift equipment at work, was exhausted all the time, and was at risk of losing his job. When I revealed to him that his coffee habit was literally eating away his muscles, he was shocked. But after adjusting his diet and changing his coffee routine, James bounced back. He regained his energy, could handle 12-hour shifts again, and even started coaching his grandson's little league team. Processed meats, many believe bacon, sausage, or deli ham make for a protein-rich breakfast. But here's the dark truth: processed meats are silent muscle destroyers. Within 30 minutes of eating bacon or sausage, the nitrates and nitrites in these meats convert into nitrosamines, harmful compounds that flood your bloodstream. They trigger inflammation, attacking your muscle fibers as if they're under siege. And it doesn't end there. Nitrosamines damage your muscles' mitochondria, the power plants of your cells. Without healthy mitochondria, your muscles can't repair or produce energy. Worse still, damaged mitochondria release free radicals that continue to destroy muscle tissue for hours. A study of 400 seniors found those who ate processed meat 4 times a week had 33% more muscle deterioration than those who avoided it. Sarah, a 67-year-old retired teacher, ate bacon and sausage every morning for 12 years. She became so weak she couldn't carry groceries, struggled to rise from the bathtub, and her handwriting shook. She feared she had a neurological condition, but after eliminating processed meats and switching to muscle-friendly foods, Sarah transformed. Months later, I saw her confidently carrying heavy groceries, volunteering at community centers, and even dancing again. She said she felt stronger at 67 than she did at 50. Oatmeal with skim milk now. This one shocks most people. Oats with skim milk are often marketed as the perfect healthy breakfast. But in reality, they starve your muscles. Here's why. Removing fat from milk strips away the delivery system your body needs to absorb fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. Without these, your muscles miss out on essential nutrients. Even worse, skim milk's altered protein structure forces your body to steal calcium and magnesium from your own muscles just to digest it. A study of 900 seniors who ate oatmeal with skim milk daily for 18 months showed they lost 29% more muscle than those who consumed whole milk or avoided dairy altogether. One of my patients, Dorothy, followed this healthy breakfast ritual for 15 years. Despite her best efforts, she grew weaker, unable to lift her granddaughter or even open car doors. But when she swapped skim milk for whole milk and added the right foods, she regained her strength. When I later saw her at a family event, she was chasing her granddaughter around the playground, looking more vibrant than ever. Refined cereals. Finally, let's talk about refined cereals. They may say, fortified with vitamins, on the box, but they're muscle killers. Within an hour of eating cereal, Your muscles desperately search for amino acids to rebuild after the overnight fast. But cereals are incomplete proteins, missing key amino acids like leucine. When your muscles can't find them, they start breaking themselves down to harvest what they need. Worse, cereals contain anti-nutrients like phytates and lectins that block absorption of amino acids from other foods you eat later in the day. In a study of 500 seniors over 22 months, those who ate refined cereal daily had 37% more muscle deterioration than those who avoided it. I'll never forget Harold, a retired carpenter. His daily ritual for 20 years was 2 bowls of raisin bran with skim milk. By the time I met him, he had lost so much strength he gave up woodworking entirely. But after cutting cereals and adopting muscle-building foods, Harold bounced back. Months later, I saw him lifting lumber with ease at the hardware store, proud to be building custom furniture again. Now that we've uncovered the 5 hidden foods silently sabotaging your strength, let's shift gears and talk about something far more exciting. The 5 foods that can actually restore your power, protect your muscles, and help you feel younger, stronger, and more energized than you have in years. These aren't exotic superfoods you'll struggle to find. They're everyday foods that have been studied, tested, and proven to work. If you start adding them to your breakfast, you'll notice real changes. Not in years, but in weeks. When it comes to building and maintaining muscle, few foods pack as much punch as plain Greek yogurt. Unlike regular yogurt, which is often loaded with sugar and offers modest protein, Greek yogurt is strained, making it far richer in protein, especially casein, which digests slowly and provides a steady supply of amino acids throughout the day. But what makes it so powerful is its leucine content. Leucine is the master switch for muscle growth. Without it, your body cannot properly trigger the repair and rebuilding process. Think of it like trying to start your car without the key. You could have all the gas and oil you want, but the engine simply won't turn on. Research has shown that seniors who consume Greek yogurt regularly experience measurable improvements in lean muscle mass and functional strength. In one 12-month study, older adults who added just 1 serving per day improved their balance and reduced falls by nearly 20%. I recall one of my patients, Linda, who at 70 had resigned herself to thinking she'd never regain her independence. After incorporating Greek yogurt into her breakfast, combined with other strategies, she told me she could finally walk without her cane for short distances. To her, that was nothing short of a miracle. The key here is to choose plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt. Skip the flavored versions, which are often loaded with sugar, and instead add natural toppings like fresh berries, nuts, or even a drizzle of honey. 2 eggs have long been called the gold standard of protein, and for good reason. They contain all 9 essential amino acids in the exact ratios your body needs to rebuild and strengthen muscle. They also supply vitamin D, which plays a crucial role in muscle contraction, bone health, and hormone regulation. What's more, eggs provide choline, a nutrient that supports brain health and nerve signaling to your muscles, making movements more efficient and controlled. A fascinating study from the University of Illinois revealed that older adults who ate whole eggs after resistance training gained twice as much muscle as those who consumed egg whites alone. Why? Because the yolk contains critical nutrients that amplify protein synthesis. Let me share the story of Robert, a 68-year-old client who came to me exhausted from years of relying on white-only breakfasts. He believed he was doing his body a favor by avoiding cholesterol. But when we reintroduced whole eggs into his diet, his energy surged, his coordination improved, and he even started gardening again without back pain. If you've been avoiding egg yolks due to cholesterol fears, let me assure you, the latest science shows that moderate egg consumption does not raise heart disease risk for most people. In fact, the nutrient density of whole eggs makes them one of the most efficient foods for older adults battling sarcopenia. Now, let's talk about avocados. Often called nature's butter, avocados are more than just trendy toast toppings. They are loaded with heart-healthy monounsaturated fats that help stabilize hormones, especially testosterone and growth hormone, both of which are critical for muscle preservation in aging adults. But avocados also bring something unique to the table: potassium. Many people think bananas are the best potassium source, but avocados actually contain more per serving. Potassium is essential for muscle contractions, hydration, and preventing cramps. Without enough potassium, your muscles simply cannot function properly. In addition, avocados are packed with antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, which reduce inflammation and oxidative stress in your muscles. Remember, inflammation is one of the silent forces behind muscle loss. By calming it, avocados give your muscles the environment they need to grow. One of my favorite success stories is Patricia, a 72-year-old widow who came to me struggling with constant fatigue. After adding half an avocado to her breakfast 3 times a week, she not only felt more energized, but also noticed her balance improving. She later told me she was able to get back into her gardening hobby without fear of falling. Try adding sliced avocado to eggs, blending it into smoothies, or even mashing it on whole grain toast with a sprinkle of sea salt. When it comes to raw strength, lean meats like turkey and chicken are unmatched. They are concentrated sources of high-quality protein and creatine, a natural compound that gives your muscles immediate energy for movement and repair. Here's what makes lean meats so effective. Unlike plant proteins, they are complete and bioavailable, meaning your body can absorb and use them with incredible efficiency. For seniors struggling with sarcopenia, that's vital. You want every bite to count. Studies have consistently shown that older adults who eat lean meats regularly maintain more muscle mass and strength than those who rely on plant proteins alone. One Australian study even found that seniors who consumed moderate portions of lean meat had 25% fewer falls and fractures. I once worked with Thomas, a 74-year-old grandfather who was losing weight rapidly and feared he was just wasting away. We added lean turkey to his breakfast rotation, and within weeks his weight stabilized and his energy returned. Months later, he told me he was once again able to pick up his grandchildren without strain. A priceless victory. The key here is moderation and preparation. Grilled, baked, or boiled lean meats are best. Avoid fried or heavily processed versions that come loaded with sodium and preservatives. Finally, let's talk about nuts and seeds. While they may seem small, they are absolute giants when it comes to muscle protection. Packed with plant-based protein, healthy fats, and minerals, they provide your body with a nutritional safety net that ensures steady recovery. Nuts like almonds, walnuts, and pistachios, as well as seeds like pumpkin, chia, and flax, contain omega-3 fatty acids that actively reduce inflammation in muscle tissue. They also provide magnesium, zinc, and selenium, minerals your muscles need to relax, contract, and regenerate. But here's something many people don't know. Nuts and seeds also help regulate insulin sensitivity, meaning they help your muscles actually absorb the nutrients from other foods more efficiently. In other words, when you add a handful of nuts or seeds to your meal, it amplifies the benefits of everything else you're eating. One memorable case was Arthur, a 65-year-old retired electrician. His mornings were often fueled by quick carbs, and he constantly felt drained. I suggested he keep a jar of mixed nuts by the coffee maker and grab a handful each morning. Over the months, his stamina grew, his mood improved, and he even reported better sleep. The simple act of eating nuts gave his muscles what they had been silently begging for. Now you see why these 5 foods, Greek yogurt, eggs, avocado, lean meats, and nuts and seeds, are so transformative. They're not fads. They're not expensive. They are practical, time-tested foods that directly feed your muscles what they need most: protein, healthy fats, essential vitamins, and minerals. I've seen countless patients restore their independence, regain confidence, and even return to activities they thought were lost forever simply by making these foods a regular part of their mornings. If you build your breakfast around them, you'll be fueling your muscles for the repair cycle that starts the moment you wake up. Remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Start small, swap white bread for eggs, add a spoon of Greek yogurt, or toss a few nuts on your plate. Over time, these little choices add up to life-changing results. And here's my promise: if you consistently add these 5 foods to your morning routine, you will feel the difference. Not in years, but in weeks.